Hello guys, this is InfoRx. We are the tech experts. If you need tech-related information, subscribe our channel and click the bell button. Follow our social media pages. Okay, let's go to the topic. Asus ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM review. A gorgeous gaming experience certainly has previous form when it comes to the best gaming monitors you can buy. And the Asus ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM on review here is the latest model looking to make it into that particular list. At this size and with OLED involved, we're talking about a display panel that's definitely up towards the more expensive end of the market, but it offers plenty in the way of specs and features to try and justify that price for serious gamers. This isn't a curved or ultra-wide monitor, so you'll need to see our best curved gaming monitor and best ultra-wide monitor lists if those are your criteria for your next screen upgrade, but the Asus ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM still has plenty of gaming appeal. The Asus ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM is now available to buy from several tech retailers and can be picked up for around £1,350, $1,300 at the time of writing. If you're in the UK, you can get the monitor from retailers including Scan. The widgets embedded on this page will tell you whether or not you can get a better price online right now. Design and set up. The Asus ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM is packed up in quite a large box, but you should be able to fit it together yourself without needing any tools. It's the usual thumb screw to fix the base to the stand and slide and snap method for getting the stand attached to the actual monitor. It only takes a few minutes, and once that's taken care of, you've got a monitor measuring 718 by 579 by 274 millimeters. As far as the design goes, we're impressed on the whole. It manages to be sleek and stylish without being overly fancy or screaming gaming too loudly. You can customize the lighting around the base, which defaults to a rather distracting red, and on the back. But you need to download software and connect your computer via USB. We'd rather this was something you could change using the on-screen display OSD. Speaking of the OSD, it's one of the better ones out there, with a variety of useful features and settings within easy reach, and extra credits too. Asus for including enough buttons to make navigation straightforward. You've got 8 different visual presets to choose from, and there's a custom one too if you want to save your own settings, though many people will probably stick with the out-of-the-box options. When it comes to ports, you've got one X DisplayPort 1.4 to X HDMI 2.1 and one X USB-C with DP out mode. There are another 3 X USB ports you can use as a hub or a switch for sharing peripherals between computers. You get some handy height and tilt adjustment, but you can't swivel or rotate the screen. Therefore, those downward-facing ports are a bit of a pain to plug cables into, but that's by no means something unique to this monitor or to Asus. Features and picture. Testing out the Asus ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM with some of our favorite games involving the cities of San Andreas, Night City, and St. Denis. To give you a clue, we found the monitor excels in just about every area, from the balance of the colors to the fluidity of the motion. Sometimes we found ourselves just sitting back in appreciation of what was on the screen. Thanks to the OLED panel on show here, pictures look vivid and rich, and contrasting colors and brightness ranges are handled very well indeed. Think the blinking lights of the Del Perro Pier at night in GTA V, for example. Brightness is good without being best in class, but then that's a limit that still applies to old technology across the board, and it definitely makes up in other ways. The specs here are a 31.5-inch size, a 4K 3840 by 2160 pixel resolution, a 0.03 millisecond response time, and a maximum 240 Hz refresh rate. It's certified for NVIDIA G-Sync and AMD FreeSync Premium Pro variable refresh rates, provides both HDR10 and Dolby Vision HDR support, and reaches up to 1000 nits of peak brightness. Asus Extreme Low Motion Blurry LMB tech is included too, and all these specs add up to a really high-performance screen when you're actually using it. Input lag is non-existent, HDR is excellently implemented, and details are clear and crisp. When gaming time is over and you're watching movies, browsing the web, or actually having to do some work, again, everything looks gorgeous. Even spreadsheets, but it's gaming where the screen really peaks. There are no integrated speakers here, which is always a disappointment. Even basic, budget speakers are better than nothing because you're set up straight away for sound and can then improve on it if you need. Here, you're not going to hear anything unless you've got separate speakers or headphones connected, or you make use of the 3.5mm audio jack on the monitor itself. Asus ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM. Dropping this amount of money on a gaming monitor is clearly not something for everyone, as you could buy yourself a capable gaming PC for less. The Asus ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM is therefore strictly for those who want the best screen technology for their gaming sessions. For that specific group, however, this is a monitor that doesn't disappoint. The Swift OLED PG32UCDM certainly puts big, bold ticks in most of the boxes you need. Just about every game is going to look stunning on this screen, with the caveat that you're going to need a pretty highly spec'd PC attached to make the most of the visuals. Especially at 240Hz, the design of the monitor is very ROG style, and there's no arguing that it's well put together, boasting some relatively thin bezels around its edges. We're impressed with the selection of ports too, and the ability to use it as a KVM switch keyboard. Video mouse is an added bonus. While OLED continues to have some inherent limitations when compared to other panel technologies such as mini LED, the pros far outweigh the cons here. Ultimately, the Swift OLED PG32UCDM will transform your gaming experiences straight out of the box. You've been asking for it, and here we go. The first of a wave of many 4000 to 140Hz QD OLED monitor reviews, starting with the Asus ROG Swift PG32UCDM. This monitor, along with others like it, has been some of the most highly anticipated displays in our time testing them. So let's dive deep into what 4K OLED offers gamers. The Asus PG32UCDM features one of two 32-inch 4K OLED panels currently being manufactured. There's the 32-inch 4K to 140Hz QD OLED from Samsung Display used in this monitor, and later in 2024, we'll see a 32-inch 4K to 140Hz OLED from LG Display that also boasts dual-mode functionality, allowing for a 480Hz refresh rate. At 1080p, almost a month has passed since Asus initially released the ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM. For context, the ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM is one of many OLED gaming monitors that Asus has recently introduced, including the ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDP and ROG Swift OLED PG39UCDM. In short, Asus sells the ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM for $1,299 in the US and £1,348.99. By contrast, the company has priced the same monitor at €1,799.90 in the Eurozone, which converts to £1,537.50 at current exchange rates. However, Asus has already discounted the ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM by €300, a 16.6% saving. In other words, the monitor is actually cheaper in the Eurozone than the UK for the time being. With that being said, a €1,499 launch price makes the ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM more expensive than the MSI PG321URX QD OLED and Alienware AW32-5QF in Europe, which retail for €1,399 and €1,199 in Europe. respectively. It is worth noting that the Alienware AW32-5QF lacks USB Type-C connectivity and has a curved finish, compared to the 90W Type-C port and flat finish of the ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM. While less separates the ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM and MSIM PG321URXQD OLED, Asus justifies its higher price by claiming to have included a particularly effective heat sink that should reduce the chance of OLED panel burn-in occurring. Ultimately, all rely on the same Samsung Display Gen 3 QD OLED panel though, which outputs at 4240 Hz with fast response times and higher peak brightness. The key feature of the ROG PG32UCDM is its 4K UHD resolution on a 32-inch screen. This combination is popular because it shows sharp images without needing to adjust the image size, offering a detail level of 138 pixels per inch. Although some people might adjust their screen settings for everyday tasks, this high resolution is great for gaming. As you can see, unfortunately, the screen is highly glossy. In a bright room you're bound to see reflections. On the opposing side, that does give a very nice black coating on the display. To get the most out of the monitor, especially its 240 Hz refresh rate, you'll need a powerful graphics card. Cards like the GeForce RTX 4080 or Radeon RX 7900 GRE XTX are good for playing games at more than 60 frames per second in 4K for the smoothest experience at the highest refresh rate. Even faster cards are recommended. For connections, the monitor has two fast HDMI ports and a DisplayPort 1.4, which works with many gaming consoles and PCs. It supports various HDR high dynamic range formats like Dolby Vision and HDR 1.0, enhancing the color and contrast in games and videos. It covers 99% of a color space called DCI-P3 and can display over 1 billion colors, making for a vivid HDR experience. This hub has 3 USB 3.2 Gen to Type A ports and a USB-C port that can power devices with up to 90 watts. If the power delivery affects the screen's brightness, you can adjust it. The stand lets you change the monitor's height, angle, and direction and is designed to not take up too much space on your desk. It also lets you store things underneath the monitor. The monitor has several extra features. There's a spot on the stand for attaching a camera. The OLED panel itself is very thin, however, the rest needs real estate, including hardware and, of course, the heat sinks for OLED cooling. Something funny then, I noticed what looks like geographical coordinates latitude, longitude listed on the backside of the monitor, so when you look that up, you'll end up in Taiwan at a certain HQ, see below, and yeah, very funny, the Asus PG32UCDM monitor makes it easy to use its settings menu with a joystick found just under the screen. This joystick allows users to adjust settings right on the monitor, although you can also use Asus's software called Display Widgets for some adjustments. The settings menu on the monitor, known as the OSD on-screen display, has more customization options than the software, which is why it's crucial for those who want to fine-tune their monitor settings. The joystick makes moving through the OSD menu simple, and it's expected that future updates might let users do everything through the Display Widgets with a mouse, making the process even smoother. Both the OSD and the software divide settings into categories like gaming features, image presets, quality adjustments, and options for displaying two sources at once: picture-in-picture or picture-by-picture. In the gaming section, there are specific settings for different types of games such as racing, first-person shooters, and real-time strategy or role-playing games. There are also special modes designed to improve visibility in games, like night vision for darker scenes and MOBA mode for vibrant colors. The Game Plus feature adds extras like a crosshair overlay, a zoom function for precise aiming, and shadow boost to make dark areas clearer. The display widget software goes beyond simple adjustments like brightness and contrast, offering more in-depth settings like sharpness, color hue and saturation, and gamma levels. For gamers, it includes features similar to those in the OSD, like shadow boost, timers, a frame rate counter, and sniper mode. The monitor is designed for gaming, but some features like variable refresh rate and motion blur reduction may be limited depending on choices you make in the OSD. A notable feature includes the ability to display content from two sources side by side, a sensor that turns the monitor off when no one is nearby to save power, and customizable RGB lighting with a projected ROG logo. For HDR content, the monitor offers for modes, console, cinema, gaming, and display her for 100, with console mode being the recommended setting for a good balance. The HDR 400 mode maxes out at a brightness of 450 nits. Asus is also planning to add Dolby Vision support with a software update indeed for some time. The basic proposition of combining 4K pixel density with old image quality has promised something akin to the ultimate in PC display tech, and neither the Asus ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM nor the Alienware 30-AW32-5QF disappointed. We love 32 inches of 4000 old goodness. So, the question is how the new Gigabyte Aorus FO3TU stacks up compared to the direct competition, and what, if anything, extra it teaches us about this brave new world of 4000 old gaming. It's also worth bearing in mind that there are some remarkably good deals on the various 49-inch ultrawides of late. Samsung's original G9 launched at around $2,000, but the Gigabyte Aorus CO49DQ uses exactly the same QD OLED panel but can be had for $999 right now. That's a heck of a lot of monitor, even if the pixel pitch is pretty clunky and text looks fairly fuzzy. Like all other 32-inch 4K OLEDs you can actually buy right now, the Gigabyte Aorus FO3TU uses Samsung QD OLED panel tech. LG has a 32-inch OLED in the works, but monitors based on that panel aren't available quite yet. Anywho, along with 3840 by 2160 pixels, you're looking at 250 nits of full screen brightness, 1000 of peak HDR brightness and a 3% window, and 0.03 milliseconds GTG pixel response. Oh, plus 140 Hz refresh. All of those figures are identical to the Asus and Alienware alternatives. Likewise, just like the competition, the Gigabyte Aorus FO3TU has a glossy panel coating. Gigabyte has also gone for the flat option, just like Asus, while the Alienware offers a gentle curve. Flat or curved is a personal preference thing, and we'd be happy with either option in this particular category. For connectivity, Gigabyte gives you to HDMI 2.1 ports, plus DisplayPort 1.4 and USB-C. All four will do the full to 140 Hz refresh, and the inclusion of USB-C gives the Gigabyte an advantage over the Alienware, as does the inclusion of audio line out. Thanks for watching this video. For more information, touch with us by until then. Next video.